Yes, guys, what's going on? Adam McKola here, Adam McKola TV. We are back. We are live. Different background today. I'm not at home, but we're still coming to you with the preview. Manchester United's trip to West Ham United, and we haven't won an away game since that victory against PSG in France. Can you believe that? We haven't won an away game since March. We've had a few draws, a couple of defeats at Wolves, few other dodgy results, haven't managed to win. And this season we've had 2 draws on the road, 1-1 at Southampton, 1-1 at Wolverhampton, and we need to put that right and get 3 points this weekend, because we cannot afford to drop any more points in the Premier League already. It's just simple. We can't afford to. I know we're sitting in 4th and all that stuff, but dropping more points isn't the way to go this early on in the season. Now, I know our targets probably isn't in winning the league or anything like that, but you can't be dropping points consistently. And that defeat against Crystal Palace at home is obviously another 3 points that we missed out on, and that we need to make up for. We haven't beat West Ham United away from home in our last 2 visits. We lost there 3-1 last year. Remember that back 3? That 3 centre-halves with Scott McTominay in there? Do you remember that? And the season before we drew 0-0. So this time around, hopefully we can keep another clean sheet and manage to get a goal or 2. But there is a little thing to worry about. I say a little thing, a couple of little things to worry about. Manchester United will not have the availability of Anthony Martial and Paul Pogba yet again. And I am gutted by that. I was thinking, surely they're going to be in this. Surely they're going to be in this squad. They'll be back. But no, they're not back yet. Luke Shaw also continues to miss out. So Manchester United will have to make up for those players that are missing. But who will come in? Will anyone start from the game against Astana? Obviously, against Astana. We looked at that and we thought, not an amazing result. Not an amazing performance. But we got 3 points. Mason Greenwood got his first competitive goal for the first team. And you looked at that and you think, it wasn't bad. But did anyone grab your eye? Did anyone make you think they should be starting? Did Greenwood do enough to be able to start now that Martial's out? Did Rojo do enough to potentially start at left back with Luke Shaw out? What do you guys think about that? So get your thoughts in, get your comments in. Make sure you're keeping it locked here to Adam McKola TV as we're discussing the West Ham United game. It's a difficult game as well. And a few weeks ago, it was made even worse for me, because I got into it with West Ham United fans online about Declan Rice, and I'm just sensing a Declan Rice winner this weekend. It's got a 1-0 Declan Rice 90th minute winner written all over it. Fingers crossed, for my sake, that does not happen. And remember as well, we'll have a vlog up for you guys tomorrow. I'm at the game, so I'll be getting a vlog for you. Also, I'll be doing the live reaction from outside the ground after I've done fan cam. So that's a reason to subscribe as well. Get subscribing right here. Any questions for me on this game coming up? Colin says Rashford will never be a 20-goal a season striker. I think you can get 20 goals a season in all competitions this season. In the league, I'm not too sure. And I assume you're talking about, in the league. Greenwood is brilliant, but I feel that he's been brought up in a team that's simply not good enough. Yeah, it's another thing. When we brought through class of 92 players and we brought through, Beckham, Giggs, Scholes, those kind of guys, they had players like Keane around them, Robson in the dressing room, Eric Cantona, Steve Bruce, Gary. They had leaders all around them. These guys haven't, unfortunately, and they have to kind of be relied on. We're relying on these players. They're not just an addition to the squad. They're not just squad players. We're almost relying on them. Injuries to Paul Pogba, injuries to Anthony Martial, and that now means we're relying on Mason Greenwood potentially. So it's an interesting one this season. We're going to have to come to terms with the fact that it's going to be up and down. It's going to be inconsistent because we've got such a young squad, such a thin squad as well. Once injuries hit, we're doomed, and it's going to be a very, very up and down season this season, unfortunately for United. Get your thoughts and get your comments in. Let us know. The boys were a different level. I think with the lack of goals, why not give Mason a chance? Mata came on and made things happen. And without Pogba, we don't have the creativity, he says Yaskia. Who will play in midfield? Says Anthony Keane. We'll talk about predicted 11s and stuff later on today. I don't know what MUFC Udin's going on about. How come you guys fell out? I haven't fell out with anyone. I love Rashford, but I just feel he's very wasteful. Look, at this age, you're not going to get the finished article, and we've got to hope that he can work on that. Getting into the positions is great. We need him to work on his finishing. I feel like Anthony Martial's the flip. His finishing's great, but he needs to work on his positioning and his movement. And he does look like he has been working on that in the summer and this season. It's a shame his injury has struck. Declan is going to have an off game. Is Rojo fit? Get him in to give him a kick, says Glenn. Rojo did look very unfit in terms of match fitness when he went off the pitch. He was cramping up and stuff, and he was begging for Ashley Young to come on. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to start another game within a 2-day turnover. Now, he is an athlete. He has been training regularly, so you'd like to think he could, but it's just a thought. I'm not sure. Now, he's in my predicted 11, Marcus Rojo. I'd like to see him given a start, but I'm not too sure. Oh, man, forget them clowns, bro. Stop giving clowns attention. That's all people do. Stop giving clowns attention. They say stuff for you to give them attention. Stop it. Bloody hell. Everyone needs to prove themselves, says Sharad. Rashford is a red through and through at least. Do you think this could be a great season for Fred, says Colin. Now, it was an interesting game for him against Astana. And when he came off the bench against Leicester City, I would start him in this game. I really would. I think he should be starting this match. We need to bolster our midfield. We need to get players in there. And for me, Matic isn't the man to be starting against teams like this that are going to have quick players. You can imagine Lanzini and all that, working on Matic. He's going to find it difficult. So I'd play Fred and I'd play McTominay in the central midfield, especially without Paul Pogba. And that's looking like it's our strongest pairing at the moment. Now, McTominay was given a rest midweek, which was great. I would have done the same with Marcus Rashford. I would have rested him midweek and started him this week. Not that, look, it's the start of the season. He's just had an international break where he didn't, start the second game. And he only came on for a few minutes. And it's the early season, so I'm not saying he's tired. But in terms of like a mental break, just taking him out of the firing line sometimes, put him down and just let him relax, and then let him come back into it, into the firing line. That's the thing. These boys are going to have to grow up in front of everybody, grow up playing week in, week out. They're not going to have the luxury of, having other strikers to be able to score goals. We're relying on Rashford and Martial this season. They need to step up and perform and deliver. Unfortunately, we were without one of those. So we're now even having to rely on a 17-year-old in Mason Greenwood. Madness. All right, can we stop talking about them bells, please? Cheers. Get rid of him is rubbish. Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about, mate. Who would you like to sign for our midfield alongside Pogba, says Pete Jones? It's a good question, It's a good question. I'd like to see us sign 2 midfielders for a start. A creative one in like James Maddison, who can play AM further forward, even in a midfield 3. And a deeper lying one, defensive midfielder. Don't really know. No one's really jumping out at me. No one's screaming, we should sign them in that position. Lingard needs to grow fast with all the work he does without the ball. He needs to create more, says Anurag. Yeah, he's been off form. If he starts this game, he needs to be at it. He needs to be at it. Lingard hasn't had a great start to the season at all. We need to see him returning to his usual self. Now, he wasn't ever, scoring hundreds of goals. He was never that guy. But what he did was work great for the team. His energy, his link up. And, this season, even his first touch has been poor. You can never criticise Jesse Lingard for that. His linking up, wasn't been great. We need him to get back to that. And he looks like he's lacking a little bit of confidence, to be totally honest with you. He looks like he's lacking a little bit of confidence. too early in the season to talk about transfers. I think it's not good enough that 3 injuries ruin our squad. Really shows how inept our owners are, says Will Mini. I agree with you as well. Should have done more business in the summer. We didn't. But I do also like where the squad's going. It's just taking longer than we would have hoped. We would have liked to have had a few more through the door by now so that we could, prepare a little bit better, but we haven't. Ruben Neves is a great signing. Would be a great signing, Pete. But we ain't getting him. It's good though that Brendan Rodgers has been talking about James Maddison in the last couple of weeks about his future and stuff, and it's good that they're already doing that. Hopefully he's getting in their ear saying, I want to go next summer, so that it makes the move easier for us. Must get his confidence back. The gaming thinks Lingard isn't good enough. What about Declan Rice, says Joe Ash? Let's talk about West Ham, because under Pellegrini they are doing some decent things. They've built a decent squad. Not a bad side. They've got some threatening players going forward. They've got that new striker Haller, who looks a handful. Lanzini, as I've mentioned before, Yarmolenko, and of course, what's his name? Felipe Anderson as well. So they've got a pretty good attacking in the midfield. They've got obviously Mark Noble and Declan Rice, which is decent as well. The one concern for them is, I forgot the fella's name now, but he got sent off, the man that plays at fullback, and now they're going to have to play Zabaleta there. So if they play Zabaleta at fullback now, he's obviously very experienced, used to be a fantastic player. He's still half decent, but lacking in the pace department. If we could put a Danny James on him, or a Mason Greenwood or a Marcus Rashford to just run at him and run at him and run at him, cause him a whole load of problems. And if their fullbacks do bomb forward, as we've seen they can do at times, it will leave a little bit of space in behind for us. That's why I'm looking forward to this game a little bit more, because West Ham will be confident of getting a win. West Ham will actually come out and try and get goals. And if that they do, then that's a problem for them, because I think we can hit them on the counter-attack. Can't believe we're going into games questioning if we can beat teams like West Ham, says Football Capital. I'm not questioning whether we can beat teams like West Ham. We can beat any team in the Premier League. The problem is we can also lose to any team in the Premier League. And that's the inconsistency in this United side, which we've got to sort out. Colin says, let's create more, and then Martial, Rashford and Greenwood can concentrate on putting the ball into the net. It's a good point. Besides Pogba, we're not creating enough. And that's what I was impressed with Marcus Rojo. I know it was only against Astana and we had him pegged back for a lot of the game, but some of his deliveries into the box were very good, and Marcus Rashford should have scored on the end of it. But we're not creating enough opportunities. And you could see that in Angel Gomez. I felt sorry for Angel Gomez at times against Astana, because he was occupying some very good positions in between the lines, drifting out wide, drifting central, drifting just off the striker, coming deep. And we were very rarely picking him out. And when he did get on the ball, he looked like a threat. But it was just, we weren't getting Angel Gomez on the ball enough, and it was really, really frustrating. Warhol thinks United are going to get smacked, he's saying. How long do you really realistically think that the current owners will be in charge for? A long time, mate. Unless you got 3-4 billion, you're not getting rid of them. And I haven't. Have you? I can't see anyone coming through to buy them. People look at the Saudis and that. I wouldn't want the Saudis being in charge of United. Just me personally. I'm going to have to delete this video if they ever do. But that's from out of the firing pan into the fire. So, I don't know. Be careful what you wish for. But also, I'd love the Glazers to be gone. I just can't see it happening anytime soon. A ball-carrying central defensive midfielder is what we need more than anything. We struggle to build up play from midfield. We can then push Pogba forwards, as MUFC would in. And yeah, if we play a Fred and McTominay in the 2, just in front of the defence, we can then play Pogba in the 3, just behind the striker. Or we can then play a midfield 3 with him at left central midfield. So it does open the options up for us. But as I said, we're without Pogba and we're without Anthony Martial for the game against West Ham. Now I'm just going to check if there's any more news that's popped up today on it, because yesterday I was at the match boxing, so I didn't see anything new. Manchester Evening News are predicting that Greenwood will be dropped and Fred starts. So before we go into my predicted team, now Manchester Evening News predicted 11s aren't always right, but this is their predicted 11. De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Young, Fred, Matic, McTominay, James, Lingard, Rashford. So they're saying we're going back to James, Lingard and Rashford. Now my team was this one. So I've gone for the De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Rojo. But as I said, with him being not very fit, he's probably not going to start this game. McTominay and Fred, Lingard, Danny James, Rashford, and Greenwood is what I've gone for. But they seem to think it's going to be Fred, McTominay and Matic. So you'd see Matic coming for Greenwood in this side, Young in for Rojo. But I'd rather see my team, to be totally honest with you. What do you guys think? MEN's predicted 11 or my predicted 11? From my predicted 11 for the Astana game, I was one off. I thought Lingard would start. Lingard didn't start. Gomez started. So I was one off in that game. Last week against Leicester, one off. I'm getting very close every week. Now it's easier this week because we've only got about 10 players as it is. So it's no surprise I'm getting close to nailing these predicted 11s. But that is my predicted 11 for this team. Jacob says Fred is just a stopgap, an expensive stopgap if he hits that. Rojo tomorrow to play against the likes of Felipe Anderson. He said Rojo's too slow to play against the likes of Felipe Anderson, and that's his deal. Zach prefers my team, so does Peda, so does Football Capital. Jacob says Gomez in for Lingard. I wouldn't mind Gomez starting at all, but he admits as well, like I was about to say, that he doesn't think it's going to happen. I don't want to see Matic. He's useless on the ball, says SBU. Do you think we're also weak in the right wing player? Yeah, you're right, mate. But as well, like obviously we've signed Daniel James, who can play there. Can also play on the left where he is in my team. Now Marcus Rashford's the one who's going to be playing out wide. So we haven't got a natural right winger. Now you're hoping Kante Chong become that. But if not, we probably need to sign someone, especially if Rashford is going to become more of a striker and play through the middle, and then him, Mason and Martial share the number 9 position. If that happens, then we need a winger. But at the moment, it's enabling us to give Greenwood and Rashford game time. But I do agree with you. And Glenn says, I think change Lingard for Mata, Rojo for Young, and you are right. I think the reason I've gone with Lingard here, I thought he looked a little bit better when he come on against Astana. But his energy is important. His movement's important. Now, we've got to hope he can play out of his bad form. We've got to hope that. But these kind of games against teams that may leave a little bit of space in behind, will mean that Lingard becomes more open to be able to do things. Danny James has more space to do things. Marcus Rashford will. So I say starting. We got to hope he can play himself out of that bad form. But obviously the number 10 position is a position that we need to improve on, whether it's from within the squad and Lingard finally starts performing, or Angel Gomez, nails that down, or whether we sign someone. We need to sort that position out. It could also be Pogba as well. Luke says Rashford's a smart baller. If he has no football IQ, he wouldn't have got that penalty against Leicester. Why so many injuries, man, says MUS Yielding. You know what's funny? It's not even that many injuries. There's 3. Luke Shaw, Martial, Pogba, and it's absolutely fucked us, which is why the club 100% should have brought more in the summer. Don't listen to those that say that, oh yeah, it was only Herrera and Lukaku and Fellaini. We still needed to replace them and we didn't. It's a problem. The squad is thin. And this could be a problem for the younger players. They're coming in under massive pressure. That's why I wasn't so critical after that game against Astana. Because these lads haven't played under this pressure, under this expectation. I've not played in European competition before for the first team. But it was a different experience for them, playing up against fully grown men that by playing their cup final. It was a different sort of thing, but Mason Greenwood took his goal fantastically well. Now I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't want to rush him, so he's kind of like holding him back a little bit, taking him in, taking him out. We'll probably take him out here and play him again against Rochdale midweek, which I think he'll have in mind. But without us having Martial, I think we play him. I think we play him. Any more comments coming in, guys? And what's your predicted 11s and your score predictions for this game? I've got to say I'm predicting a 1-1 draw. A 1-1 draw. Which is better than last season. But it's not good enough for us this season. We need 3 points really, don't we? We need 3 points. Get me your predictions and your predicted 11s in. That is my predicted 11 right there. David De Gea in goal, back in goal. After Romero took his spot midweek. Aaron Wan-Bissaka back in. Lindelof, Maguire and Marcus Rojo is in my predicted 11. Fred McTominay in the midfield with Jesse Lingard ahead of them. Marcus Rashford, Danny James and Mason Greenwood. Now the rumours are Mason Greenwood isn't going to start. Matic is going to start in place of Mason Greenwood. And Young is going to start in place of Rojo. But that is the team that I would like to see. Thoughts on Chung, says MUFC Udin. Didn't have his best of games against Astana. Was a little bit better when he came on against Leicester. I think we just need to relax a little bit. I saw a lot of people being overly critical midweek. And also overly hyping Greenwood. Because Greenwood didn't actually have a great game. He scored a great goal, but he didn't actually have a great game. And I think that's the thing. You've just got to relax. We've been crying out for these players to be given an opportunity. We can all see how much talent that they've actually got, the potential that they've actually got. Now we need to give them a chance to actually fulfill that. They're not going to be finished products like that. They're not going to be, you know, complete articles, boom, like that. They're going to need time. They're going to need to learn on the job. And Tahib never had the best of games, but he would have learned an awful lot on Thursday, sorry. It's obviously in the Champions League, in the Europa League now. But yeah, Tahib Chong would have learnt an awful lot. I think we just need to relax. Don't be getting on people's cases so quick. Mason Greenwood's going to have a bad game. Look at Marcus Rashford. When he come through, all of us were buzzing. Rashford this, Rashford that. Now he has a little dip in form and everyone's on his case. It doesn't make sense if the young lad is going to have this dip in form. Many players at his age weren't doing nothing. Everyone says Harry Kane is rightly one of the best strikers and one of the best finishers in the Premier League. What was he doing when he was 21, 20? Huh? He wasn't doing what Rashford's doing, that's for sure. So I think we just have to relax a little bit. You're not going to get the finished article in players straight away like that. They're going to go through back. Do you know what I mean? 5 years ago, Harry Kane was on loan at Leicester, got 2 goals in 13 league games. Dead, that is. You lot would have been saying Tottenham should sell him. And now look, one of the best strikers in the league. Anything else coming through? Any comments, guys? Keep it going. We'll keep this live preview going for a little bit longer now. Noel says, why we always jumping on the players. Trey says Daniel James ain't fit, but he hasn't been ruled out of this game. So he's in my predicted 11, and I think he'll be available. Kondogbia from Valencia would be perfect, says Amar. Sorry. Tell me what happened to Rashford's score. I don't know what you're saying. Kane was playing for Millwall. Yeah, he played for Millwall as well. Millwall, Leicester. Leighton Orient, was he at? Or am I making that up? They're hyping Lampard and Tammy. Again, Tammy Abraham's doing fantastically well. But he'll have a dip in form. And hopefully people don't start racially abusing him. Stupid that. It's daft, innit? Someone's cracked for a bit and someone start racially abusing him. Bit odd. 2-1 scrappy win, thinks Crappers. Yeah, I'm going for a 1-1 draw, guys. My prediction for this game is a 1-1 draw. My predicted 11 is David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Rojo, Fred, McTominay, Lingard, Rashford, Danny James and Mason Greenwood. But we are hearing that Mason Greenwood won't start, Marcus Rojo won't start, Matty Trill and Ashley Young will in the newspapers. So who knows? What team would you start? Mine or the MENs? Get that in the comments below. Get your predicted 11s in the comments below and get your thoughts in right now. Manchester United against West Ham. We haven't won this fixture in the last couple of games. We lost there last season, we drew there the season before. We need to now go there and get 3 points. It's that simple. We haven't won an away game this season. We haven't won an away game since March. PSG away was that away game. What a memorable one. Let's hope we can create more good memories here at the West Ham game this weekend as United take on West Ham at the London Stadium. And I will be there. We'll be doing fan cams on Full Time Devils, so make sure you're subscribing to Full Time Devils. Make sure you're subscribing to McKola TV as well. I have live reaction. So once I finish the fan cams, I'll do my live reaction from outside the ground, and then I'll walk back to the car, and I'll sort out the vlog, and I'll get the vlog uploaded for you. So you can have a match day vlog and a live match reaction stream tomorrow. So make sure you're keeping it locked for that as well. But for now, guys, I have been Adam McKola. You guys have been absolute legends. This has been the West Ham United preview. And of course, you can get your comments in those comments below. For now, I've been Adam McKola, and I'm out of here.